The mainstream American sports media, the terrified executives in the corporate boardrooms, and the established veterans hiding in the dark, whispered corners of the WTA locker room are currently in a state of absolute unmitigated panic. They were praying that Alexandra Ayala was just a phase. They were begging the tennis gods that her recent string of violent psychological masterclasses on the court was just a lucky streak. But their prayers were just answered with a nightmare. The absolute highest, most untouchable, immortal power in the entire history of the sport just descended from the mountain to issue, music, a public undeniable warning to the entire Women's Tennis Association. Rafael Nadal, the King of Clay, the legendary 22-time Grand Slam champion, the ultimate mythical symbol of tennis royalty, mental fortitude, and absolute unyielding suffering. Rafael Nadal just bypassed the entire mainstream media machine to send a powerful, incredibly public message of praise directly to Alexandra Ayala. But I need you to understand something absolutely critical right now. I need you to read between the lines, because Rafael Nadal did not just say congratulations on playing well. He did not just send a polite corporate PR tweet. He did something infinitely more terrifying. He publicly claimed her. He pointed at the 20-year-old Filipina phenom, looked at the rest of the professional tour, and officially declared, "She is one of us. She is a product of my academy. She is forged in my fire." Let me tell you right now, the entire tennis establishment is absolutely shaking in their custom-made, heavily sponsored tennis shoes. The fallout from Nadal's unwavering protective endorsement is so incredibly toxic, so deeply devastating to the old guard that they do not even know how to biologically process it. You have to understand the dark, cutthroat, deeply political underworld of professional tennis to truly grasp why this specific connection to the Rafael Nadal Academy is acting like a nuclear bomb in the WTA group chats. When a young player comes up and gets a shocking upset, the establishment tries to isolate them. They try to bully them. They wait for the immense crushing pressure of the year-long tour to eventually break their spirit. But you cannot bully a player who is personally backed, trained, and endorsed by Rafael Nadal. Nadal just took the unwritten locker room playbook, ripped it into 1,000 tiny pieces, covered it in aviation fuel, and set it on fire for the whole entire world to see. Why is Nadal praising her so heavily? Why is he so invested in the absolute destruction she is bringing to the tour? Because Alexandra Ayala is not just some random girl with a good forehand who happened to catch a lucky break. Ayala was systematically, scientifically forged in the exact same fires on the exact same brutal, unforgiving red clay of Mecca that built the greatest, most relentless gladiator in human history. Let me paint a terrifying picture for the rest of the WTA tour of what being a premium graduate of the Rafael Academy actually means. The academy in Mecca is not a summer camp. It is not a luxury country club where you sip lemonade, wear perfectly ironed white sweaters, and hit a few casual balls over the net for an Instagram photo. It is a military boot camp for tennis terminators. They break you down mentally. They break, you down physically. They push your body to the absolute brink of total collapse, and then they force you to play another 3 hours. They strip away your ego, your fear, and your weaknesses until the only thing left inside of your soul is a pure, obsessive, almost psychotic desire to win every single point, as if your actual life, your actual survival depends, on it. Rafael Nadal built that academy to create apex predators. He built it to create players who do not feel pressure, who do not feel fear, and who look at a 5-0 deficit as a fun challenge. And when Nadal looks at Alexandra Ayala, he doesn't just see a talented student. He sees his own terrifying reflection staring right back at him. He sees the exact same heavy, punishing, venomous topspin that he used to completely break the souls of Roger Federer and Novak Djokovic. He sees the exact same relentless footwork, but most importantly, he sees the eyes. He sees the dead-eyed, unblinking, terrifying focus of a killer who will stand on a tennis court for 5 hours straight and absolutely refuse to surrender a single inch of ground. Nadal is praising her because she is flawlessly executing the exact psychological blueprint of destruction that he personally programmed into her brain. Imagine the absolute paralyzing panic in the camps of the top seeds right now. You are a top 10 player. You have a massive sponsorship deal. You are sitting in your hotel room looking at the tournament draw, and you see you have to play Alexandra Ayala tomorrow. Music. You are desperate for a weakness. You watch the tape. You see her winning an impossible 86% of her second serves. You see her suffocating veterans in tie breaks. And then you open your phone and you see Rafael Nadal himself praising her work ethic, praising her academy training, and basically telling the world that, music, she is his ultimate masterpiece. It is the ultimate psychological kill shot. It is a level of psychological warfare so profound that it permanently shatters egos before the players even step onto the court. How do you possibly scheme against a player who has the entire philosophy of Rafael Nadal flowing through her veins? How do you mentally prepare to play a girl who calls the king of clay her personal mentor? You don't. You can't. You just sit in the locker room, your hands sweating, your heart racing, and you realize that you are not just playing a 20-year-old from the Philippines. You are playing the ghost of Rafael Nadal downloaded into a newer, faster, unstoppable baseline machine. The player union circles, the sports agencies, and the massive management companies in New York and London are in a state of absolute unprecedented chaos. They know better than anyone else that Alexandra Eala, with the official blessing of Rafael Nadal, is about to become an unstoppable global commercial juggernaut. The luxury brands, the massive tournament directors, the global television executives, they are all going to aggressively, shamelessly pivot towards Eala because she now has the ultimate stamp of legendary immortal approval. The established veterans are absolutely terrified that they are about to become completely irrelevant overnight. They are terrified of being publicly humiliated by the Nadal-trained assassin. And let us talk about the absolute most terrifying weapon Eala possesses. A weapon that the Nadal Academy helped sharpen to a lethal point. The Eala Army. When she steps onto the court, she does not walk out there alone. She walks out there with the deafening, unwavering, incredibly passionate support of millions of Filipinos standing right behind her baseline, combined with the entire massive global rougher nation. It is an army of supporters that no other player on the WTA Tour can even comprehend. She is weaponizing the crowd, and her opponents are suffocating under the immense pressure of playing against an entire unified global movement. This is the exact moment the torch is violently, unapologetically ripped from the hands of the old establishment. The era of the American and European media dictating who gets to hold the trophy is completely permanently over. The crown has been taken by absolute undeniable force. Alexandra Eala is not the future of women's tennis anymore. She is the terrifying, unstoppable present. She is the final boss, and she has the king's blessing to take absolutely no prisoners. I need you to completely, absolutely, and aggressively flood the comments section of this video right now. I need the Eala army to mobilize like never before in the history of the internet. I need you to make your voices heard so loudly, so aggressively, and with such overwhelming, undeniable force that the terrified executives in the boardrooms and the panicking players hiding in the locker room cannot possibly ignore the absolute truth anymore. I want you to share this video on every single platform you have. What is your immediate unfiltered reaction to Rafael Nadal publicly crowning Alexandra Eala and validating her brutal academy training? Do you agree that the veterans are now completely paralyzed by fear, knowing they have to face the ultimate Nadal protege? How incredibly loud is the Eala army going to be when she steps onto the court for her next execution? Is there absolutely anyone left on this entire professional tour that can possibly stop our girl now? Or is the rest of the season just a massive, unstoppable, historic victory lap for the absolute pride of the Philippines? Drop your wildest celebrations, your deepest tactical analysis, your loudest cheers, and your absolute boldest, most terrifying predictions for her impending championship run in the comments below. The revolution is not coming. The revolution is already here. The king has spoken, and Alexandra Eala is taking over the world. Let's go. Alex, congratulations. Wonderful victory out there. Magda raised her game quite a bit in that second set when you were trying to put her away. What did you adjust to hold her off in straight sets? I think I just had to move as much as I could because she was being a bit more aggressive. She definitely changed some things. I need to clarify what those things are when I watch the match again. But yeah, I think I was solid. I fought and yeah, I was happy. Yeah, I know when we've gotten a chance to chat, you've said you are still working on various parts of your game. Want to get the serve bigger. Few other things. You want 71% of your first serve points today, 72% on your second serve. Those are great. Those are great numbers. When you're having a good serving day, what are the things that are happening? I think are you trying to go big? Are you hitting your spots? Well, I think today was a good percentage day. A lot of first serves. I was trying a lot of first serves. And yeah, I think it gave me the freedom to kind of go more for certain shots knowing that it was more solid today. Yeah. So, that's what I think happened. It's been wonderful to see you, of course, play in all these big events, get all the most amazing support everywhere you go. As you continue to, you're seated at 31 here. Is it starting to feel more normal playing all the big events all the time? Because it takes a little getting used to. It does take a little getting used to. I've warmed up to it for sure. Laughter, of course, the facilities are amazing at these events. We're treated really well. But the biggest thing I've had to adjust to is of course the level of players. Every match is a very high level of competition. So, you don't really have room to let your guard down. And, it's very demanding. But I'm happy that I'm able to play some good tennis and see progress in my game. I know you continue to work very hard on the physicality of it, but is it more mentally draining as well, playing the top players consistently? It's definitely taken a toll mentally, but that's also part of the process of becoming a better player and a more mature person is knowing how to handle that. And I think one of the things I've been learning to do is kind of switch off the tennis mode, fill my cup outside the tennis. So I think that really helps. Yeah, I absolutely love that. I think one of the things you may have done to fill your cup, I know you were at the Miami Heat game and you got to meet Eric Sproul, absolute champion, legend coach for the Miami Heat and also someone who means a lot to the Filipino community. How was that meeting? It looked so cool to see you guys together. So amazing. Coach is such an icon and has achieved so much. Just to reconnect again after last year it was a great time and to be able to watch, another sport. It gives another perspective cause basketball is so different from my sport and our sport. So yeah, I was able to let loose a little bit. Yeah, that's very cool. He must have. Is he a fan? Has he watched some of your matches? Yes, he did. He watched my match last year with EGA. Fantastic. So, I'm happy that I believe it was his first tennis match. So, I'm happy I was able to give him that experience of the quiet of the tennis matches and that tension. It's a big contrast from basketball. So, it's interesting. I tell you what, if he was going to come and catch one match, that was a spectacular match to watch. You played so well in that match. You'll take on Carolina Mukuba in the next round. She's been healthy. She's one of the players with a lot of variety out there. What will the thought be as you go into that one? Yeah, she's been doing super well and I believe I watched one of her finals a couple years ago and I was like, oh, this girl is, good. So I'm excited to see how I'm able to compete with her. I'm sure I'll be put in a lot of tough positions, but I'm super excited. I love seeing how keyed in and focused you are when you step onto the court. Any part of the pre-match routine you can share with us? Is there a song in the head? Is there something you do to get yourself in the right mindset? Yeah, well, first of all, I have a talk with my coaches, right? I write in my notebook. I think the routines that I have every day are having that long warm-up before hitting and then eating and then shower everything it helps me it automatically kind of subconsciously puts me in that state of mind and it tells my body hey you have a match so I think by the time that I'm able to step on the court I've done everything I could have done to be prepared. Well the routine is working beautifully. Please enjoy the time between now and the next match. Continue playing well. Thank you so much. I was going to watch it. It was this one and boy it has delivered. Yeah, it's shaping up nicely. You talked about it. The youngsters this section here Andrea against Mboko will be a third career meeting. They split their first two meetings. First meeting between Mover and Ayala. But as you mentioned, Nico Ayala in her fourth appearance here in Miami seems to have a bit of a love affair with this city. She's not the only one. And it's a city that it's easy to fall in love with. So Eala is through to the fourth round, and we will go down courtside to hear what she had to say after that very hard-fought victory. Alex, congratulations. You are headed back to the fourth round here in Miami. And to do it, you had to get through a fighter today in Magdalenette. You know how tough she can be. Other than this incredible crowd, what do you think got you over the finish line? Oh, I think patience was a very key aspect of how I played today. You said it first. Magda is such a fighter, and every time I played against her, she's put me in such difficult positions. So, kudos to her for playing well, and yeah, I really enjoyed the battle. It is so much fun to watch you play. You are so seemingly fearless. You take the ball so early. You redirect so well. Has that always been your style of game, or has there been a coach along the way that said this is how you're going to play? I want to think that being aggressive has always kind of been what I've aimed to do. Maybe it's only come out well like in the past year or so, but no, I think it's really part of my game. Of course, I have an amazing team who have really fine-tuned my game and really helped me take it to a next level. No, but yeah, I think being aggressive is something that I like to do. Yeah. Okay. Last year at this time, you were ranked 140 in the world, and coming into the Miami Open this year, you're 29 in the world. What would you say is the biggest difference in you standing here today as both a person and a player? I think